I think that's it. It shouldn't leak anymore.
Thank you so much. Here you go.
Can I have some water?
Of course. And tell me, please, did you learn anything? Any news?
There are a lot of little things.
Please?
Thank you. Well, for example, the clothes. She was covered with blood. But on the blood-free areas, there should be at least some traces of small sprays. And there are none. And the second is an anonymous call. Let's assume a man hears the screams and decides to call the police, but for some reason does not want to identify himself. What is the probability that he just might have a phone number bought somewhere in the underpass that cannot be identified?
Very low percentage of probability.
I agree, if it was a random witness who for some reason wants to hide his identity. Well, then it's easier for him not to call the police at all than to call anonymously and be afraid that he will be calculated. But he called. Why?
So he needed the call himself.
Exactly. And he needed it so that the police on arrival would find your daughter at the scene. And thirdly, in Roman Tishchenko's house, the front door was automatically slamming when the police arrived. It was propped up with a wooden.
Yeah.
As if Zhenya could have freely entered the house with Roman already killed.
Yeah.
If Zhenya had been the murderer, then Roman would have opened it himself and the door would have slammed shut. Right. But it was bolted, and this despite the fact that witnesses testified that Roman's house was always fresh and even cold. And he loved warmth. And even lit the fireplace.
Will all this be enough for Zhenya to be acquitted?
No, not so fast. The murderer is very cunning. He understands that the door, the bell, the clothes, these are trifles in comparison with the main proofs of Zhenya's guilt. Namely that she was taken at the crime scene. That's the first, and the second weapon. Because the knife from the nightclub to the house could bring only her. But I am very fond of small things. So I will look for the real killer, and you have to help me in this.
Yes, of course. What should I do?
Anna, tell me who could want to harm Zhenya.
I don't know such people. I don't think Zhenya does either.
Well, then version number 2. The target of the killer was Roman Tishchenko himself. Zhenya was just used to divert suspicion from himself. Tell me, what do you know about Roman? Zhenya said that in your youth you were close to him. Is this true?
I was. A long time ago.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late. Traffic. So, Zhenya, we need to work out a line of defense with you.
Yes, okay.
Let's consider with you the affective state.
Why?
You know, the chances of proving your innocence, to put it mildly, are slipping to 0.
But I didn't do it.
Zhenya, you were caught at the crime scene with a bloody knife in your hand. A knife from the club where you directly spent several hours before the murder. Believe me, there's more than enough evidence for the trial.
Wait, what about logic and common sense? Well, you said yourself, if I was a murderer, I would not take a knife where I can be identified by dozens of witnesses.
I told you. If you were a cold-blooded killer, But you didn't plan the murder in advance, did you?
Well, of course not. I didn't plan or commit it, and you promised to help me prove it. I don't understand now why you changed your position so abruptly.
Because, Zhenya, I'm just guided by logic and common sense. We will most likely fail to prove your innocence. But I promise Zhenya will do everything possible to mitigate the punishment.
I didn't do it. I was framed, Uncle Georgie.
I would be happy if it were true. But as far as I know, the investigation has no information about the action planned against you.
And do you yourself believe in my innocence, Uncle Zara?
Unfortunately, right now, Zhenya, it doesn't make any difference.
You know, I don't think your past with Tishchenko has anything to do with the murder. Most likely he met Zhenya and fell in love with her just to annoy you. And the killer just got even with him and covered himself with Zhenya.
And what are you going to do?
I'll work in this version. I'll question everyone in Roman's circle. I'll find out who had a motive to take revenge on him.
Do you know that Roman and Boris have a night brothel in the hotel and restaurant complex?
No, where did the information come from?
Marina found out to help me nail Roman, and even the police knew about it and even opened a criminal case, but it was closed because there was not enough evidence.
Okay, I'll find out.
So I think maybe something terrible happened in that brothel, and the victim is probably a woman who got her revenge on Roman for that. Well, my Zhenya just got in the way and she set her up. Could there be such a thing?
It could be.
I want to help you. Give me something to do.
I can't. Anna, I have no right. You know the law, and besides, it could be dangerous.
So what?
If you are on the trail of the killer, you can become his new victim. I do not want that. Goodbye.
I don't know, Marin. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't just sit and do nothing.
You're right. I couldn't do it either.
Listen, will you help me, huh?
Of course, I promised you.
I'm sure this murder has something to do with the brothel. Something happened there and the staff obviously know about it. So look, I need you to spend there a couple of days. Listen, talk to the girl administrator. She is quite contactable. Give someone money for information. Don't worry. I'll pay for everything. I would do it myself. But Boris knows me by sight.
Okay, I'll certainly do what I can.
Great. In the meantime, I'll start watching Boris. I have a feeling that he was involved in the death of his brother. Sooner or later, he'll slip up.
Anastasia Markovna.
Oh, look who's here.
Hello, Nastia.
I haven't seen you for ages. Listen, I know about your story with your wife, and I don't believe a word she said.
Thank you, Nastia.
It's good that you were reinstated. We wouldn't have any decent investigators left. I heard you got the Sodnovoga case. It's terrible. I knew Zenka. Anya brought her in when she was a teenager. I worked in court then. She was such a nice girl. Who would have thought it?
I'm sorry. I'm in a hurry. I need your help.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to you.
A year ago, a case was opened for a fitness club bordello, owned by brothers Boris and Roman Tishchenko.
Yeah, I remember that. So it was opened and closed. Does it have anything to do with the murder?
Maybe. I'd like to see it.
Wait. Now, look, I don't see it. It's really not there. And where could it go? And who could take it? I do not let anyone in the archive.
Thank you, Nastia.
I control everything. What the hell?
Good morning, Chief.
Are you sure it's good morning?
Chief, I know I screwed up, but that dentist was like in the ground. He knows all the loopholes in the woods. He dived somewhere and that's it.
Okay, I don't blame you.
Thank you.
What is it?
Backpack Vostrikov, and in it, attention. Grandfather first wanted to hide, but then changed his mind and gave it.
And grandfather didn't know where the money came from.
No, the bill is brand new without any bank marks. So there's no way to identify where it's from?
So Vostrikov is an accomplice.
So you're saying he took the killer's money for a favor?
Very likely.
Asia. Asia, you.
Where have you been?
I were leaving. Have you seen Zhenka?
Don't you know anything at all?
What?
Zhenya is a suspect in Roman's murder and the police came to the university. They were looking for you, and I was summoned to the investigator today.
Where's Ilyuka?
I don't know where Ilyuka is.
Let me call him.
From your phone.
My battery is dead. Give it to me.
Here. Dennis. What have you done?
Nothing.
Den.
I didn't do anything. I'm fine. Hello, Ilya, where are you? Can I come to your place? Yes, right away. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Thanks.
What do you know about the murder?
I don't know anything, Asia.
Yes, why are you behaving so strange? When I told you about the murder, you changed your mind.
I'm telling you, I don't know anything.
Okay, I'm calling the police.
Stop.
What?
Asia, I swear to you, I just heard about the murder from you. Please do not say that we have seen each other.
Why?
Just don't tell anyone. Yes. Come in quickly. I have a meeting in half an hour. What do you have?
Ivan Petrovich, new details have been discovered in the Sotnikova case.
What kind of details?
The nature of the bloodstains on the suspect's clothes, the wooden stopper under the door of the dead man's house, the anonymous call to the police. In general, there are some inconsistencies in all this, which indicate that Sotnikova is being set up. I'm working out all the possibilities now.
Wait. She was found on the corpse with a knife in her hands. She was covered in blood, and she brought the knife to the stomach. Or who do you think brought the knife?
The one who killed Roman Tishchenko.
Oh, Andrei. Listen, you are like a son to me, so I will beat you as my own. I don't know what the hell made you become a suspects lawyer, but I'll tell you this. If you don't find your so-called real murderer in a week, or if you don't get a confession from Sotnikova and close the case, then write a report.
Ivan Petrovich, there is one more nuance here. This murder may have something to do with the illegal activity of Tishchenko brothers, their night brothel. I found out that a criminal case was opened and immediately closed, and now it's disappeared from the archives.
Don't turn your nose up at all.
Why? Because this brothel was used by serious people, am I right?
Don't stick your nose in. It means don't ask such questions. You may free.
Copy.
Yeah, so that's it.
So that day you only saw Zhenya at the university.
Yes. She wanted to stay the night at Roman's and asked me to cover for her if a friend of mom's called.
And when was the last time you saw Denis Vostrikov?
The same time. He also did such a funny thing. He posted a sort of processed picture of him and Zhenya hugging each other.
Why?
I don't know, he is wildly in love with her. He probably wanted to show off she is a model. And he is just a guy.
And you didn't see him after that?
No.
Asia, do you realize that Denis is involved in the murder? If you cover for him now, it will be seen as complicity. Let's pretend that this is the first time I'm asking this question. When was the last time you saw Denis Vostrikov?
Yes, Marin, what?
Hi, Aniet.
Hi.
Well, look, I spent 2 days in their club. In general, no one knows anything. I already offered money to the cleaner and the administrator that you told, but either no one really knows anything or just freeze.
I see.
How are you?
A lot of things. Let's later, Marin, okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Bye. Coffee with milk, please.
This is Viktor Radionovich Frolov, an official of the main police department. By the way, a very influential official.
So Boris works for the police?
Or Frolov is his nighttime client. Listen, call me for a second interrogation with Boris Tischenko. And also find out who Valentina Ostashko called today. What time did she call?
Around 12 o'clock.
Around 12 o'clock. Yes, well, I'm waiting. Anna, I understand it is useless to ask you not to get involved in this case. So I want to ask you to agree all your plans with me from now on.
It's a deal.
Thank you. Yes. The number Valentina called belongs to Tamara Galikova.
That's Roman's mistress.
I want both of them back in my office for questioning. Thank you.
Could it be that all three of them are involved in Roman's murder?
Maybe. Well,
Chief, they got Denis.
great.
Hi.
Hello, can I listen to him? I very much want to be present at the interrogation. I promise not to interfere.
I swear I didn't know anything. A man called me and told me that Zhenya was in danger. That when she comes out of Roman's house, you should not let her go home. would take her straight to the nightclub, to the valley.
Did the caller introduce himself? Was it a man?
I think so. The voice was very different, though, some kind of machine. So metallic.
And you didn't ask him exactly what kind of danger Zhenya was in.
No.
Why not?
Well, this man promised me that he would pay me $3,000 if I wouldn't ask too many questions.
What happened next?
I did everything as we agreed. I waited till she left Roma and took her to the club. She didn't really want to go home. She had a quarrel with her mother. And then all the way back. Mom was right. Mom was right.
So what's next?
We went to the club and I bought a steak.
And Zhenya ate steak, too.
No, she wasn't hungry. She was drinking gin and tonic. And then she got a message and called a cab. Well, by the way, it was agreed that when the message came, she should go.
Did she say who sent her the message?
No, she didn't. But she got excited or something.
Did Zhenya take the knife from the steak bar with her?
No. Why? Why was Roma killed with a knife from the bar?
What happened next?
I waited an hour after Zhenya left and went to the bathroom and took the money hidden behind the barrel. So, what's going on? Why do we have outsiders here?
My presence at the interrogation is dictated by the interests of the investigation.
Oh, I see what interests dictated. So I warn you that today it will be reported to the management. What a mess.
Why did you run away from the police?
So how did I know it was the police? They were going to kill me.
Who? When?
Well, that car came out of the corner and came straight at me.
Did you manage to see the driver?
No. It was still dark and the car blinded me with its headlights. Although the car seemed to me to be blue, so dark blue. I noticed it when it passed under the lights.
Blue.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
A blue car. Zhenya said she saw one just like it near Roman's house.
But there are a lot of blue cars.
But it's not a coincidence, I'm sure.
All right, let's say it's the same car.
The killers.
Perhaps what we have here is that the criminal calls Zhenya to Roman by text message, using his phone. And then he kills Roman with the knife that was stolen at the nightclub. Then he goes back to his car and makes sure Zhenya is there. So he calls the police.
It all adds up.
And then he goes back to the nightclub.
That's right. By that time, Dennis had already taken the money and waited for an hour, and that's about how long it took the killer to get to the club.
Then he goes after Dennis to kill him.
To kill him as a witness and take the money, of course.
But the hit and run doesn't work because Dennis manages to get away.
Well, it's a slender version.
Yes. But it's very complicated. If someone wanted to eliminate Roman, I do not think that he would have started all this garden and would have just hired a hitman to take revenge on Zhenya. As it turns out, she has no serious enemies for that.
1 second, you're having a promenade, aren't you? You lost your sense of smell.
Listen,
Don't, Andre, don't react to provocation. Who now, Tamara, Valentina?
Boris, would you like to be present?
I would like to, but I'd rather wait in the cafe. I'm afraid this Grishko will rat and you might get in trouble. And I don't want that.
Yes. Permit me, comrade, lieutenant colonel, come in. Investigator Levchenko has just broken the law once again. Who do you think was just present at the interrogation on the murder of Roman Tishchenko?
What kind of calls are these that I have to run back and forth like a boy? Have a seat. What is it? It's not what, it's who, it's you. And next to you is Frolov Viktor Radionovich. Have you been following me? Not you, but Frolov. And not us, but the Department of Internal Affairs. He is under investigation and I think he will answer for himself. But I'm afraid he will make you a scapegoat. So I'd like to hear your story firsthand, so to speak. Tell me, was Viktor Frolov a client of your nightclub? Frolov just rented our sauna a few times. And then you know. No, I don't. He was having fun with the girls there. So what happened in the sauna? Nothing happened. They agreed all the time. It's just that Frolov is a married man. He occupies such a position. You understand why. Why did you meet with him? I gave him the number of the card where I dropped the money. What money? The night my brother Roman was killed. I really got a call. I went to the pool. The blackmailer called me, but not about my son, but about the videos from our sauna. I demanded money. I sent him away. And he said that if he sends journalists these videos, then my own customers will bury me themselves. What was I supposed to do? I transferred the money, called Frolov and explained everything. He told me to give him his card number and he would find out who the fuck he was. Why didn't you tell Roman about the blackmailer? Just about 6 months ago, Frolov helped us close a case that was open against us. After that, Roman said that we are done with the sauna, with these hourly rates, with all of this, because the profits capex. But the problems are big. And then 10 days later he called. Who is he? Frolov? Called and demanded to give him the sauna again, with special service. I knew that Roman would be against it 100%. Therefore, without his consent, took the keys and handed Frolov, and arranged that they would organize everything. And then I got everything together. Who's on these videos at the blackmailer? that they're Frolov. Tell me, was the caller, I mean the blackmailer, a man? No. It's not clear. It was some kind of converted, some kind of encrypted.
Metal?
Yes, 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 metallic like that.
What the fuck are you doing again? You were given a murder case, so deal with it. And Frolov will be dealt with who needs to deal with.
Do you believe it yourself?
None of your business. One more time, you'll be fired under the article abuse of power. Dismissed.
Any good news?
There's bad news. In general, this whole story with the night brothel has nothing to do with Roman's murder. The motives are different. If we understand them, we'll find the perpetrator.
Any options?
Unfortunately, yes.
Why unfortunately?
The thing is that Boris, Tamara, and other friends of Roman have 100% alibi. There's no one to take revenge on Zhenya either. The conclusion is that all this complex multi-track scheme is designed for one particular person, for you. The murderer has calculated everything. Even that Zhenya most likely will sooner try to put in jail, since influential Frolov is involved in the case. But the purpose of the murderer is not to put your daughter in jail and crush you morally, to make you feel helpless. Anna, listen to me. I believe that the murderer must be sought among your enemies.
You have no idea how many ex-husbands of my clients want to get even with me.
Well, I'll have to pull up all your archives, personal files.
That will take a lot of time.
I personally do not see any other option. I will connect Alec. By the way, if your Marina can help, it will be very good.
I'll ask her, and part of the cases in my computer at home.
And I want to ask you something. Be as careful as possible. This psycho is clearly dangerous. I can walk you out, by the way.
Yes, I have a car.
I'd love to take you for a ride to bed, if you don't mind.
Okay, thank you for helping me.
You're welcome.
Thanks again for seeing me off.
Did you close the door?
Of course.
Here you go. Anna, don't touch anything here with your hands.
Okay.
The house is clean, no one's here.
And what does that mean?
It's a scarecrow action. This psychopath is not enough suffering for your daughter, so he tries to intimidate you. Tell me, do you happen to have gloves and a bag?
Yes, right now.
Although I doubt there are any fingers on this glass.
Look, maybe some of these will suit you.
One glove.
One, okay. Andrew, tell me, can I ask you to stay?
You know, after that, even if you kick me out, I still wouldn't leave.
How about dinner then? I can make a light tuna salad, for example.
That's not necessary at all.
I have a frozen steak. I can defrost it and fry it.
Steak.
Yes.
Steak is good.
Okay, steak. What a fragile life. Just a few days ago, I felt calm and confident, and now the earth is falling out from under my feet.
I know what you mean.
Exactly the same fear I experienced a few years ago when I divorced Gordeev. I almost lost Zhenya then.
What do you mean?
Gordeev did not want to give me a divorce, tried to keep me by any means, tried to prove that I was nothing without him. And I really did not finish college. No education, no money. I was in despair. He cheated on me. I tried to forgive him. I could not. We divorced and he tried to take my child from me.
And how?
You know, Zhenka grew up as a pretty willful girl. She didn't recognize authority and could just go for a walk without saying anything. And then one day, at the playground at the nursery, I just lost her, once turned away and all no child. It turned out later that she went for some children, 4 older, on another platform. Well, and there's a mother somewhere apparently realized that the child was lost and called the police, that's it. And Gordeev sixed the child protection authorities on me. Then made a whole case out of it. Tried to prove that I was a good-for-nothing mother. You know, no one could help me when I learned that Gordeev was taking over the case. They all refused. I had to do everything myself.
Well, now I understand why you got into the divorce business.
You know, every time I felt as if I was taking revenge on Oleg, it seemed to me that the truth was on my side, or almost the whole truth. At least it was enough to crush my opponent.
Oh, you know how to crush. I'll give you that.
Andrew, I'm sorry. I didn't realize at the time that Veronica was lying to me. Drinking, threatening, beating. She convinced me that you were a jerk who abused his family.
Yeah.
It hasn't brewed yet. That's the way to do it, not much.
You know, Anna, I feel sorry for Senka most of all in this situation. He's just like me, unsure of himself and terribly vulnerable. I was a kid, I was very weak. And all beat me. Well, as usual, I messed with the wrong company. They were stealing, and I was standing on their backs. So they caught me. Thank God I got a good cop. Cared why the kid was going down. Now he's my boss, Ivan Petrovich Kalyuzny. Made a man out of me. When I was a teenager, I decided that if I had a child, he will never be without a father. I will do everything to be near him. But life is life.
But now you see Zhenya.
Yes, we see him. But it's a drop in the ocean. Before his divorce from Veronica, I taught him to shoot, to fight, to drive a car. In general, all sorts of boyish things. And then I found out about her lover. So I get drunk. Really drunk. I woke up in the morning. Veronica was all bruised and bruised. I can't forget Sinka's eyes that morning. I told him I didn't touch his mother. I never would.
And him?
He believed me. But Veronica was really pissed off. She always thought that Sinka loved me more than her. She reproached me that I set him against her. But why do I need it? Anyway, that was it.
Well, man. How can it be so well? Kid, bring me a beer. Can you even hear me? Disabled people. No. It's because of you. Is it hard for you to do what I asked you to do?
Seneke, what happened? Zhenya, what have you done again?
Nothing. He's just messing with me, you know. I just asked him to bring me a beer and he looks at me like I'm nothing.
Zhenya, tell me, was it hard for you to do what Dad asked?
He's not my father. Please, here.
I've had enough. Let's go. My patience has run out. Sit down. Think over your behavior.
Will someone bring me a beer?
Yes, Zhenya, I'm bringing it. Here you go. Here. Why are you yelling? Andrei, I think I will find an opportunity to have your case reviewed and justice will be served.
You think it's possible? Don't you?
I helped Veronica take your son away from you. I'll bring him back to you. We can't. Until the perpetrator is found, you can be accused of personal interest.
I understand.
Good night.
Good night.